Hey guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you the first update to my A to Z Project Pan series. So if you missed the intro to this, I will link it up here in the cards. I would definitely recommend you watching that, otherwise this won't make much sense at all. So do check that out before you watch this one. But today I'm just going to be giving you the first update, showing you all the progress that I've made on these eyeshadows over the past month. So do stay tuned if you want to check that out. Before we get into it, my main channel as well as all these palettes that I mentioned and anything I'm wearing today will be linked in the description down below, along with all of my social media if you want to check me out anywhere. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So this month I've had definitely more progress on some shadows than others. Some have gone really well, others have not really been used. So I'm just going to go in order of the alphabet again. So the first shade is Aspire and it comes from my Makeup Obsession Be Obsessed palette. So the shade Aspire is this one down here. I've just used it one time this month, I haven't used it too much, so that is the progress here. Not very much to see for it and just, yeah, a little bit lackluster in the progress. It's a really nice shade and I have been enjoying using it, but yeah, unfortunately not much progress on this one so far. Then we have the shade B, which is Burnout from my Naked 3 palette. I'm going to try not to hold this one up too much because I don't want to spoil the progress in my project pan, because you can kind of see where it is. But the shade Burnout is this pink one here. I haven't used it at all this month, so there is no progress, so I'm just going to shut this because there is one crumbly shade where I haven't properly repressed it yet. But yeah, no progress on this one this month, but I'm hoping to use it a lot more in the coming months, hopefully to hit a pan, but unfortunately not yet. Then shade C is from my Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette. This is the shade Caution. I haven't used this at all this month because I've been using the shade in my Pan That palette, which is very similar. I used it after setting my eyelids just to make them kind of less stark white, and I haven't got a chance to use this yet, but I believe I'll be done with that shade in the next couple of days, so I'll be able to move on to this one, hopefully get a lot more progress in next month. So yeah, that is the progress here. None really, basically, but yeah, unfortunately have not been reaching for that one this month because I've had another shade that has been doing that purpose. Then we have the shade Dust from my Naked 3 palette. This is the shade for D, obviously, and this is what the shade is looking like here. As you can see, there is now a pan in here, which is super exciting. I used this 18 times this month to hit pan. I definitely already had a dip in there, but as you can see, there's very clearly a pan in there now, which is super exciting. I'm really excited to now move on to other inner corner shades because I've been using this in my inner corner for a long time, but it's a really pretty shade. I really like it. But yes, very happy to announce that this one is finally done. In terms of this project, obviously I haven't used up the shade altogether, but we have hit pan, which is very exciting. So next up we have my shade for E, which is Empress from the Queen of Hearts palette. This is the Coloured Rain Queen of Hearts palette here, and it's just this orange shade here. So not a load of progress again this month. As you can see, there is maybe a tiny dip starting to form. I used this one 4 times this month, and it's definitely a very pigmented, very kind of hard pressed shade, so you don't need a lot and you don't use a lot. So as you can see, not a load of progress in that one, but I really enjoy this shade. This is one of my favourite palettes altogether, so I love reaching for it and using it a little bit more. Next up we have my shades from my old James Charles palette. I depotted that and I talked about it on my makeup Instagram account, which is just Jessie Talks Makeup, the same name as this channel, so do check that out if you want to. But I did depot all of my James Charles Morphe palette and my Steve Laurent Wild Thing palette shades, and I got rid of some of them and then kept the ones I wanted to keep. But next up for F is one of those shades. This is just the shade Flashback from my James Charles X Morphe palette, and I'm very happy to announce that we do have a pan in here. I don't know if you can see too well because obviously it's a white shade. This has a huge dip in it now and has got a very significant pan. This took me 25 uses to hit pan on. I was just using it to set my eyes, and I have used it now 27 times total, so that's why the pan is a little bit bigger. So very happy to announce that I do have a pan in that one now. So yay, that one's done, and I won't have to kind of necessarily work on that one specifically anymore, which is nice. So yeah, really happy with the progress on that one. Then next up we have the shade Globetrotter from my Maybelline News of New York palette. I've been using this one a lot, and you can see here that maybe there is a slight dip starting to form. I'm not sure how much you can tell. I've used this one 23 times this month, so definitely very happy with that progress. But yeah, that is just what it's looking like there. Definitely a slight dip forming. I can definitely see it with my eyes, and you can see some very clear brush strokes in there. It's just this shade here. Also, this is a little bit of brow gel that won't come off my finger, so sorry about that. I promise it's nothing gross, but yeah, that's just the progress there. So definitely a dip starting to form. I think these shades are quite deep though, so this will probably take a while to hit pan in. Then I have another one of my singles. This was the shade Hello, which is this kind of bright blue color. I unfortunately have not used this at all this month. It's just a very bright blue shimmer. summer. I've been doing definitely more neutral looks, so have not really found the use for this one, but definitely hoping to reach for it in the next few months a lot more, and obviously hoping to hit pan, but less sure on that one just because of how bright and colourful it is. So next up we have the shade Ivy from my Beauty Bay palette. This is just the shade up here. As you can see, we're starting to make some progress. I think you can definitely see some finger marks and kind of where in the middle that I've been reaching for it. Definitely a slight dip starting to form. I've used this one 5 times so far this month because I use it as an inner corner shade. I'm using it today. I was using Dust previously, and obviously now that has been used up completely, so I could move on to that one. And now obviously that one has been hit pan on, so I can move on to this one, which is super exciting. So I'm very happy to have brought this one into kind of my everyday look now, and so can hopefully make some progress and maybe even hit pan within the next month or two. Then I have the shade Jasper from my Natasha Denona palette. This is the Sunrise palette. This is the shade Jasper here. You can't see any visible progress. It is just this kind of red shade at the bottom. I have used this one 2 times this month, so not a lot, but definitely more than I would have done without this project. This is the shade here. Not really much progress, so we'll probably move on from that one. Next up we have Keeper from my Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. I've not used this at all this month. It's just this shade here. Yeah, I haven't really been doing any kind of yellowy mustard toned look. It's definitely been much more kind of pinky toned, hence why I've used more of the pinky tone shades and warmer tone shades and more red tone shades in this project. But yeah, this is just the shade Keeper here. No progress, but I really do like the shade, so I'm hoping to reach for it a lot more. Then we have the final shade from my Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and that is the shade Liar. It's this one here. I unfortunately have only used this one once. It's definitely a very tricky shade to work with. It's more of a kind of darker grey shade, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm hoping to find a way to work it into some looks over the next few months, obviously hoping to hit pan. So I've used this one time this month. And then lastly is another shade from my singles. This is the shade Mary, and I've used this one 23 times this month, so there's definitely a big dip forming in here. I've been using this almost every day in my crease, and it's a really gorgeous colour. I'm wearing it today and I really like the way that it looks. So yeah, definitely a bigger dip forming in here, and I also wear it on my outer corner of my lower lash line, so that's helping the dip kind of go deeper because I am using a smaller brush and going in more kind of focused. So I'm hoping in the next month we can hit pan. I'm not too sure, fingers crossed, but we will obviously see. Yeah, that's just a really pretty shade and I'm really enjoying working on it, so hopefully in the next month we can have pan on that one too. So yeah, that is my update to my A to Z Project Pan series. I really hope you guys did enjoy. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like down below. You can hit subscribe and turn on the bell to join a little club. Make sure you turn on all notifications, then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. If you want to check out any of these palettes as well as anything I'm wearing today, that will all be linked in the description with my main channel and social media, so feel free to check that out. If you want to watch my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!